What's up YouTube? Today I want to share this quick tutorial on how to create an amazing gradient crystal in Blender using cycles. This technique is really simple and fun, and it takes about 10 minutes to create. Moreover, you can easily use this method to achieve many cool results. So let's get started. So we are in Blender. Let's start by creating a new project. Let's remove the default cube and the light source. I'm gonna change the position of the camera. Next, I will change the camera type to orthographic, because I don't need the perspective in this scene. And let's set the resolution in the output properties. I will use a 1:1 image ratio with 2000 pixel resolution. Next step, let's change the render engine to cycles. For making the crystal, we need to add a cylinder. Let's reduce the amount of edges to something about 8. But of course, you can use any primitive shape you want. Let's scale it by z-axis and adjust the position. I really love when the shape of the crystal is asymmetric and natural, so I will need to add some extra geometry. Let's go into edit mode and add some loops to the crystal. To make it look more interesting, let's play with the sculpting tool a bit. Okay, that looks good. In the next step, I will add modifiers to the crystal, but before that, let's apply scale and rotation to make our modifiers work properly. Let's add a bevel modifier with an amount of 0.025 and 10 segments. Then, let's add the subdivision surface for an extra mesh on the faces. Let's shade smooth our crystal and check the auto smooth box in the object data properties. The shape of our crystal is ready. Let's create a glass shader. Let's split the window and choose the shader editor. With our crystal selected, let's click the new material button. Since our crystal is obviously made of glass, we need a glass shader. I will use a BSDF glass with the default settings. Let's switch to the material preview. To make the glass material look more interesting, I will add procedural scratches from one of my work I did earlier. I won't be focusing on how to make these scratches in this video, but I will leave a link to the tutorial by Ducky 3D. Be sure to watch his video as well. I will also leave a link to the Blender file from this tutorial in the description. Please feel free to dig into it and take the material I made. So as you can see, we added the scratches to the surface, just to make it look more realistic. This does not affect the result, so feel free to skip this part if you want. For the wall settings, I'll just change the color to rich black. So, the basic setup is ready, and now let's start creating something really cool. Since glass itself doesn't emit light, to make this beautiful gradient glass we need to add light sources, and to do that we will use a gradient texture as a background for our crystal glass. I'm going to use this image from unsplash.com, created by Sean Sinclair. Be sure to check out his profile, he has a lot of cool artworks there. Let's go back to Blender. Let's add a plane, scale it up a bit, rotate it 90 degrees on x-axis, and let's place it behind the crystal. Don't forget to change the shade editor from world to object. Let's create a new material for our plane. For the gradient material, I will leave the principal BSDF shader. We also need an image texture shader. Let's connect the image output from the texture shader to the principal BSDF base color and emission inputs. Our background is now emitting a light. Let's switch to render view, and now we can see something cool here. But we have a problem. We don't want this background to be visible outside of our crystal. So let's fix that. With our plane selected, let's open the object properties. Let's scroll down to the visibility drop-down list, and let's uncheck the camera visibility. And here we are. Our gradient crystal is ready. Now, let's play with the reflections by duplicating these planes and moving them around. I'm happy with the result. As the final part, I will share with you tips on how to optimize your rendering, so that you can make it a little faster. This will be useful for people like me who use Blender on their laptops. First thing first, let's open the render properties and change the noise threshold to 0.1 and the max samples value to something around 1000. Scroll down to light paths. Change the max bounces to a value between 1 and 5. Check the fast gyro approximation box. Scroll down to performance and change the tile size to 256. And check the persistent data box. Also, let's adjust the color management. Change the view from filmic to standard and set the look to medium contrast or even a high contrast. This will increase the contrast and saturation of our image. Yeah, looks good. The last one is under the world settings. Let's open the settings drop-down and change the sampling to manual and both values to 256. And let's check the homogeneous box. Okay, we're good to go to the render. Let's render the image. The really great thing about working with 3D is that there is no one single way to do something. You have to experiment, combine different things and knowledge, trying to find a way that might work for your particular task. So be curious, try it yourself, and please feel free to share your results. I'd love to see them. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.